Are you a sports fanatic? You get off on college football, college basketball, the NBA, the NFL, golf, ping pong, and sports betting. Wait, back up. Ping pong? What the hell? This is Jump Shots from the Goal Line.
Watch out! He's got getting away from the top speed.
Hot takes and hilarious banter on everything from college football to the NBA and everything in between, except ping pong. And we're not just flying solo. We're bringing in some heavy hitters from the world of sports. Journalists, players, legends. You name it, we've got them. Why should they have all the fun?
Bryant for the win. Bang!
This is Jump Shots from the Goal Line. Where every episode is a slam dunk. And now your hosts, Jonathan Dugan and John Henningsen.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the show. It should be a pretty heavy golf episode. That's what Henny and I were just talking about. There's a good amount of golf coverage this weekend. So obviously we'll be covering the NBA playoffs as well. But outside of that, maybe a little throw in some U of A baseball talk if we're feeling clever. But yeah, that's what we got on the docket today. Henny, my man, how was your weekend, man? Did you actually get to go out there and hit the links or just watch?
Yeah, no, of course, man. It's watching. It's great. Playing, it's better. So yeah, I was out there per usual. Tasties in hand, teeing it up. Been going pretty well for me. Been cruising along, been playing some decent golf here and there, but as usual, the ebbs and flows. So
yeah, dude, it's a cruel,
how about
cruel
yourself?
game. Nah, man, I didn't get to get out there this weekend though. I'm definitely getting the itch. I know that we're going to be having that huge scramble probably at the end of June, trying to get mentally prepared for that. I think I'm actually hitting the links, maybe trying to pull in a quick 9. I had a buddy invite me to go play after work. So if I can make that a thing, maybe I can pull your ass into there here pretty soon as well. But that should be fun. I definitely have the itch, bro. I can't shake it. I watched macrodosing's whole breaking 80 shit today, and my God, that made me want to play even more because I can tell you this much: I'm better than Big T.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of that. I have no idea. I mean, I know what you're talking about loosely, but yeah, I haven't gotten into that. But you will watch. There's a lot of YouTube golfers out there, just like in real golf, of varying levels. So there's some guys I won't watch. I feel like they actually ruined my game, and it sounds like this qualifies in that. I don't want to watch a series of bad shots. That's my problem with some of the YouTube golf content. I'm like, it's in my. I don't want these ideas in my head.
Yeah, no, this one, not to promote too much of their shit, but it was funny because Big T doesn't play that often, and he was all confident after 3 holes because him and Arian played pretty well. And he's just like, this golf shit's easy. I don't know why people even trip out on it. This is the easiest game ever. I'm out here striping it. And it just fell apart for 15 straight holes. And it was just so great to watch it because there's nothing better than getting out there on the links with somebody that starts hot and then they just fall apart. It's just juicy. Usually me.
I'm always happy if someone can string it together, but there's certainly, golf will always humble you. You don't ever feel too good about your golf game. It's always when you need it most going to fail you, or just it'll always bring you home. You always know where you stand in the golf world.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I left the last time I played was with you, and I guarantee you, I'm gonna go in this next round and feel just right as rain, and it's gonna just fall down like rain on me. Like I told you, I went to the driving range 2 weeks after, and I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. So it's an expensive, cruel
was that
game.
Was that the last practice?
Yeah.
So we're going on a month here or so, probably. What do you think?
No, what? Well, you mean the last round I played?
No, last time you went and swung a little bit.
2 weeks ago. right?
Okay.
Wasn't
All right.
I think that's what I told you, right? Maybe 3 weeks now. Could be.
Yeah, that's what
You're right,
that's what
though.
I'm just wondering. Like, yeah.
But we both know I'm the
Not
type of
no judgment. I'm
no,
just trying to
no, no.
understand where you're at, you know.
What I was trying to say is we both know I'm the type of golfer that if I take an extended leave, it usually benefits me as opposed to hurts my game. So
Also, heads up, there's someone lurking out there. You have that little tiny gap
I
back there.
know.
I saw a soul pass right through. For a second, I was in another dimension, brother. I was like, "What just that?" I didn't realize like if it's. I get what's going on now. It took me a second to process, but if you see me get scared or yell, "Look out!" It's because you got a little gap today.
Yeah, my stepson just went to go play basketball and just came back home. So it's not a ghost, though we could have that conversation. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
Oh,
real good
there it is again.
ghost hunter at Dugan football. Yeah.
Dude, when you don't shut the door the whole way, just freaking my co-host of a cat over here. You know? Or a cat of a co-host. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares?
I'm with you.
But I'm glad to hear you took the tasties out there. I want to take this time. I know I texted you about this, but I'm gonna put it out in the airwaves. Tasty boy, we got to talk, my man. We pump out a lot of product for you. At
Oh,
least
that's right.
in my mind, I think we do. I know we talk.
We talk. We love your product. How about that? We definitely are doing our damnedest.
One of my buddies definitely like left you a comment on our last post that I made for you, a little promo action, saying that he loves the cinnamon ones. Well, hey, I'm gonna put out a challenge for you. I say that jump shots from the goal line should be able to formulate their own plan for a flavor that we'll promote the shit out of. Like, if you think we promote Tasties now, Henny and I will bathe in these things, dude. If you want, like, I know I'm speaking for you right now, but like,
I mean, I'm down to bathe.
that would be pretty sick. I know that we have some friends that would definitely probably at least buy a pouch just out of curiosity or just out of like humor. So I don't know what that flavor would be. I've been kind of like rummaging it through. I think like I know I jokingly said Miller Lite, though. That would, dude, can you imagine a Miller Lite tasty on a hot summer's day?
I mean, it's an interesting play.
It is, dude.
I
Or
mean,
like
it's at least something to consider.
a margarita flavored one would be dope on the course, or like a transfusion, or like an Arnold Palmer one. Like, do you want to talk,
Kind of like the margarita idea, a little salt on the rim.
dude, right? And like limey, but also kind of like you could get weird with it. Like, you could probably do like a, I don't know, like a prickly pear margarita tasty. Dude, that would hit like on a summer's day.
Yeah, prickly pear is kind of a good idea too.
Yeah. We're just doing all the R&D for our sponsor right now, and I'm here for it. As long as it
I'm
gets
sure he's
us.
never even considered flavors before. We're like, dude, did you listen? We named flavors. Think
Yeah.
about it. Think about it.
Talby says tahine over salt 24/7. My man, let me tell you, you are just preaching to the choir. Okay.
Yeah, you are actually. I'm just trying to speak in the common vernacular. Not everybody's from the great Southwest.
They should be, though. Like tahine.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Talby. Like, tahine it reigns supreme. I actually, dude, I made ribs today. They were really good, but my side that I made was some like Mexican street corn, but like not on the cob, but like we're
Yeah.
whatever.
Like lote type stuff.
Dude,
Yeah.
threw some tahine in there. Whoo! Just gives it that just perfect amount of like liminess, spiciness. Not even spice. Like tahine's not spicy whatsoever, but you're onto something that's up. What about a tahine flavored tasty, bro?
Yeah, and if you don't know, people like be carrying this in their purse, in Tucson. Like this would be something that like every fifth woman I think in Tucson may have a bottle of tahine in their purse.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, dude, I think we unlocked it. I think we made our way through Margaritaville all the way to, with some assistance from Talby, like a tahine flavored tasty would rock.
I think the goal, Dugan, today was, from your perspective, to plant the seed, and I think a seed has been planted.
I think so, dude. I think so. Also, Talby says chimichurri wins every day. I agree. Chimichurri is great. It's a good accoutrement. I think I use that phrase right.
Yeah, accoutrement. Yeah.
I'm just going down the wrong path. It's because your buddy Talby's just taking.
Yeah, as I say, you let him get you. I was like, you let him take you off, bro. I tell you.
You warned me.
You gotta
You
be
warned me,
careful.
dude.
I warned you. Yeah, I was like, he'll try to infiltrate the entire show.
We'll have to bring him on sometime, bro.
Sure.
So obviously we're sitting here talking about the links, but like I mentioned at the top of the show, a lot of stuff went down this weekend, right? So it was the Players Championship, is that correct?
So it's like the PGA Championship. So
PGA,
just like,
okay.
yeah, Wanamaker Trophy. It's basically just it's the fourth, right? So there's the U.S. Open, the British Open, which the Open they call it, the Masters, and then just like your PGA Championship, which to me is by far. It's really like those three that I mentioned, and I think the PGA Championship lags like far behind in terms of allure, whatever you want to call that. It just doesn't carry the gravitas, if you will, that the others do. Certainly, like it still counts, right? When we're talking about majors, it's going to count. So, like, huge opportunity for all of these guys this weekend with obviously Xander. And if you heard the breakdown on the call, either like Shuffle or Shuffle-Lee, depending on who says it. He's got like a French mother and a German father, and they say it differently. So it's a choose your own adventure of a last name, if you will.
I hate to do this to you because you warned me, but I have to know. Talby mentioned, John, tell everyone what your ghetto golf trophy is. Is this a story I haven't heard?
Oh yeah, it's actually right there. That little thing is a guy with a golfer there, and it's just that I don't remember the year. But it was at Omni, which is a local course, if you know it. I played in the Ghetto Open, and I have a closest to the pin trophy right there. So closest to the pin trophy from the Ghetto Open. Honestly, like probably my finest athletic achievement, and certainly that I have a trophy. I think I brought it into some work conversations in the past. Every now and then I will pull it out. Maybe I'll bring it out for the next show. I don't want to spare everyone from me walking over to it, but yeah, so not to take away the shine from what Xander had accomplished in lifting the trophy over his head, but basically same feeling. I know exactly what he was going through, and from my perspective, just to move it forward a little bit, I didn't really believe that Xander was ever going to do this. If you don't really know Xander's story, he's been perennially top 5, top 10, really hanging in there, if you will, but was having a really hard time getting over the hump, especially as it relates to majors. But even just winning a tournament, it had been a little bit. But sure enough, he's up to number 2 in those world rankings. That's what a major will do for you. And he led from coast to coast. So start to finish, if you will, he was the leader throughout.
Yeah, dude. I mean, even as a casual, like I hear Shoffley's name all the time. Like he's kind of like, you wouldn't even really call him like a young up and comer anymore, right? Like he's
an accomplished guy. Yeah.
But he's more like square in the middle. He's not part of the old guard. He's not part of the new guard. He's like more so square in the middle now. But like, especially if you watch what's that freaking show on Netflix? But he's in that quite a bit. Like he's definitely like one of the kind of the next man up in terms of branding. So it was cool to see that he finally, like you said, got over the hump. Though not without a distraction from bad boy Scottie this weekend. I'll tell you what, dude, golf, like I used to just consider golf as just like the sport my dad watched. And nowadays, dude, with everything going on, like this is the kind of content that I feel like guys our age have been craving. Like Scottie goes into the tournament, like correct me if I'm wrong, he was going to the course at 6 a.m. Is that what was going on?
Yeah. So I'll give you like the best version of my understanding. Like now understand, guys. And as you all know, like this was a code red Twitter day. You wake up and it is already happened. Later. Like it's already a happening. I know you're well aware, and it probably stops work for half the country for at least 4 hours. At least the guys. I'm sure there's a lot of hardworking women out there just cranking away without any worry in the world as to what was going on with Scottie Scheffler. But essentially, as I understand it, and as I woke up to, first I want to really give a huge credit to ESPN's coverage, which starts with just showing like 50 cop cars, like all these sirens, like kind of like or flashing lights, if you will. There was like a tragedy in this. So like there was actually a hit and run incident or an incident where someone was like lost their life in an incident, and that's what was causing all the additional traffic around the area. And this was like some guy who's just walking to go to the course or whatever.
Yeah.
So ESPN like kind of cuts from like all of that to like Darlington, who then has to explain, like, to be clear, like all of those cop cars really had nothing to do with Scottie. And, this isn't what this is about. And he certainly didn't kill anybody. Like, he basically had to like back down because they're trying to like create all of this like panic energy. And then he had to like talk through it. And ultimately, yeah, he was just trying to like get through the course where allegedly they were supposed to have their access. And then, like, obviously, then we sort of know, like, sort of details around what that went like. The guy redirecting him, did the cop, like, jump on and latch onto the car, which, depending on your interpretation, some people probably envisioning something like an evil T-1000 situation where he's getting the arms, like, latched into the back of the car. Is this like a Paul Blart jumping and rolling off the front? Whatever it was, it obviously wasn't an ideal situation. And that led to an arrest with felony charges. And then we can talk about the police report, but I just wanted to, I guess, start it. I could talk for 45 minutes about this. It's the craziest thing.
Well, get ready, bud, because this is
yeah.
This is what I planned on talking about, because
it's
again, as a casual, bro, like, I had no intention of watching this tournament, and it engulfed me to the point where, like, I was at a team event at Corbett's just playing some incredible paddleball, or pickleball, I should say.
I was like, whoa. I was like, get it right, dude.
Yeah, some incredible pickleball. But they had a TV in there, and that's all they were covering was just the Scottie situation. And that's in between games. That's all I was doing was watching that. I love the fact that the cop literally told him to, like, was yelling at him, like, get out of the car, get out of the car. Like, I can only imagine and just envisioning that's incredible. And then you just see all of the freaking pictures of Scottie in the orange jumper. Like,
yeah,
just terrific, dude. And I think it'll be on Twitter fingers, but I'll spoil it anyway. Like, my favorite tweet to come out of this was the one where it's like, Scottie gets arrested at 6 a.m. but still makes his 10 a.m. tea time. That's the whitest thing ever. Not only that, though, then he goes on a tear and goes like all the way up to like top 5.
Yeah, he shot 66. Yeah, I mean, like, the guy came out of like, I mean, he said it in his quote, like, he stretched in a jail cell that morning, came out and shot 66. That's ridiculous.
Phrasing, dude. Phrasing to the highest order. Like, you can't say stretching in a jail cell. It's just, come on.
I'm sorry.
Not you. That's what he said.
No, yeah, no, I know. So, stretching. But yeah, like, but that's an incredible that he comes back and shoots this score. I have a lot of questions about like what the comp was doing. I have a lot of questions about like what ultimately happened. It seems like the sentiment is, and like, I didn't even follow it today, to be honest. So like, I don't know if he had court today or what was supposed to happen.
Dropped,
I was like, I presume that's what happened. If it didn't get dropped, I'll be shocked. I actually should know that, but I just really didn't even pay attention. I've just been assuming this entire time, like, it's going to get dropped. Louisville, like, police department is like under investigation. One thing I did learn for like poor practices, and then, like, basically the exact behavior that was on display. So, probably was just like likely to happen, and probably not a good look for Louisville. Although I do think it's like a little bit tough that like everybody's absolutely drubbing them, because I'm sure, like, to give some benefit of the doubt to the officer who latched onto a car, which, by the way, I will say this is not a way to stop a car.
No,
I'm pretty sure. Like, I've never officered the laws before, but I wouldn't jump on a car to stop it. I think, at that point, he should have just probably opened up rounds on his tires. Now that I think about it, why didn't he just blast all those tires?
Yeah, that would have been fun coverage.
That would have been shots fired at the PGA Championship this morning.
Yeah, I love that Jeff Darlington was the guy that broke it all too, because apparently he was like, was he on scene and that's what was going on?
Yeah, because he's like the one who actually took the footage where Scottie's like basically like, can you help me? Like, what is happening? And then they just kept being like, hey, it's okay. The cops were like, hey, it's okay that you're media. Like, it's fine, but we just need to give you space. This man's being arrested. He's going to jail right now. We on that ass. And I was like, well, this is just a crazy morning. What a crazy morning.
What a crazy event. But I love too, it really made me it endeared me to Max Homa, like his comments after the fact. He talked about getting beat by a guy that was in jail that morning.
Yeah. He's the best, dude. That guy every time is like on the nose.
Quote machine, dude. Like,
yeah.
he's one of my favorites for sure. Obviously the some other golf news too. My arch nemesis is now single. Rory's getting divorced. So what do we think, dude? Is that going to bring out the best in Rory? Is it going to be a Tiger situation? Is he just gonna? He has nothing to worry about now, right? Doesn't have to take his work home to him because he's already home, basically.
Well, as you mentioned, as well documented by the Netflix documentary, Tony Finau's biggest problem and impediment to winning is that he loves his family. So I think if anything has ever been more clear, line drawn in the sand, that Rory better start winning because, he's not even going to be with his family anymore. So, I mean, of course, he'll still have connection, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to turn this into the Tom Brady roast, but like ultimately, I was going to say, I'm like, we can just peel the Band-Aid off. But ultimately, I think it does seemingly, I don't know, something like, right, Rory's been stuck in a rut.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying his marriage necessarily, right? I won't, who knows? But something drastically needed to change. And this is a drastic change. So if you've ever needed a reason to reinvigorate your Rory hope, I think divorce is that hope.
Dude, I know you said you didn't want to rip the Band-Aid off, but like, I think there really is something to it. Like guys just not giving a shit about their family, and it just leads to sports success. Because like you mentioned Tom Brady, that's a real thing. Look at Michael Jordan, dude. Michael Jordan didn't give a shit about his family. You know what I mean? Like his son is literally going to marry Scottie Pippen's ex-wife.
Michael Jordan doesn't give a shit about his family, dude.
Talby, divorce always brings out the dog. Rescue homeless dog and tell me how amazing that dog is. God. I don't know. Let's get your wife on the pod real quick. You can tell me all about it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, hey, careful how much you preach and clip any of these divorce champion talks that we do here, Dugan. Like, I'm like, I enjoy my marriage.
I like mine. All right.
And it doesn't affect my golf game. It really doesn't. Yeah.
Mine does affect my golf game. That's
well, yeah. Well, yeah.
I guarantee you, if I got divorced, I'd get a lot better at golf because I'd have a lot more opportunity to golf.
Yeah, you get a lot. Yeah.
She doesn't listen to the show. It's fine.
I was like,
don't clip that, Chelsea. Please do not send that to Jen. No, but like I think there really is something to that. Like guys that just either get divorced or they just never cared about their family at all, like Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. Tiger's a great dad now, but like, let's be real, not the best husband. And it all led to greatness. So maybe, I was talking to James Rogers about it today. He mentioned like him getting divorced, Rory, not James, but Rory getting divorced, potentially joining Liv, even though that's an out there rumor. I was like, dude, I might finally like warm up to Rory if all this just checks out. Like if we get like, cut back loose Rory where he's not just a giant turd all the time about everything, like I might be back in. I don't care if he's from Northern Ireland. I might just go all the way to the other side.
So greater villain arc, single Rory or bad boy Scottie?
Dude, I don't know. I think Scottie won some points with me too, dude. I mean, hey, that's just a guy out there with a mission at hand, and he don't care if somebody got hit and ran. He's going to the course, baby.
Sure, dude. He was God, what a crazy weekend. I mean, like what I don't even know how else to talk. It's just I'm still reeling from it, honestly. I just can't believe the guy was literally arrested and Rory's divorce, that too. But I just literally can't believe a guy was arrested, came back and then like just finished out there, and then really like had a bad day Saturday just because like his caddy couldn't be around for a graduation, which is crazy because I mean it makes sense. It aligns with everything that Scottie does, but it's like that was kind of crazy too because he did have that was his roughest day.
Yeah, I think Scottie just needs to get a really bad like fentanyl addiction or something, and then he's really gonna take off.
I think whatever Scottie's doing, he should just keep doing. He seemed fine. Yeah.
Talby again. I'm sure Rory is a great first date. I kind of want to flesh that out with you really quick. What do you think a Rory first date would look like?
Yeah, you came to the right place. I've thought a lot about this. Rory first date energy. That's a tough. I don't know. I assume pretty classy. I mean, I feel like it's going to be classy, clean, nice. I don't know if he has that edge that I'm looking for. But I think, I don't know. What are your thoughts on dating Rory?
I think you would probably get taken to a nice like steakhouse. That's just the energy he's got. He'd probably order a round of drinks, a little bit like predictable, a little bit boring. But then as soon as the steak came out, he'd start complaining about it not being done right, it taking too long, it was too expensive. The guy next to him got something better, and then he would just talk about Liv the whole time. I think that's probably what a first date would look like with Rory.
This is what you really wanted to get to. You're like, watch this guy send back a steak, dude, and I'll kill him. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Talby gave me the alley-oop. I just finished it. Okay. So, hey. No, I think that's probably what it looks like. But no, dude, I agree with you. Like golf, what a great weekend. If it delivers more things like this, guys getting arrested, guys breaking up with their long-term wives, like I'm bought in. I'm all the way in. I need the drama for sure.
They're definitely more of an open book. And that has like really helped the sport, I think. I mean, like I do think the documentary is huge, like that component, getting to know these players so you can watch them in a way that's not the fluffy storytelling that you get on CBS.
Yeah.
Right. Because that stuff is like, that drags. I mean, that's like the biggest complaint. If you're someone who's like a guy who's like locked in watching golf, you're like, please show me the golf. Stop telling your crappy stories, Jim Nantz or whoever. Like, let's just show golf.
I wish that we would have had this kind of coverage back when John Daly was like at his prime. Can you imagine like how much fun that would be? Like a full swing documentary that followed John Daly. Like that's what I would watch.
Yeah, that would be great. Also, a lot of really good John Daly jokes about him just seeing there was traffic, turning around and leaving and going to Hooters, which probably checks out. Like that might actually be a fact. That might just be reporting. I'm not sure.
I saw him just ripping darts on the practice range. There's just never been a cooler image in my eyes.
Yeah, there's been some reporting of like the 2 cigarettes, the 4 Snickers bars. Not everything's confirmed out there, but seems to be the rumor, and I think we all know it's at least close to true.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, that's enough golf talk for sure, but let's go ahead and talk about the NBA. So we are on to the conference finals, right? All the game 7s have been had. Why don't we start first? T-Wolves beating the Nuggets, dude. Are the Suns a little bit more vindicated now?
Not really. But no, probably not. It was a great series. I don't know if it really vindicates Suns. Like, look, the Suns have a pretty good knack of losing to the team that eventually wins a title. So, I mean, it certainly bodes well for Minnesota moving forward.
Yeah.
I also think the fact that, we did a lot to help the Wolves. As I said, I think the Nuggets are really the team to beat in the West. All it really takes on this podcast is for us to say something about the NBA, for the opposite fortunes to then reveal themselves. Anthony Edwards has been awesome.
Oh, dude.
Cat
what a guy.
Did enough, I guess.
Yep.
Gobert did enough, I guess.
Yep.
It's an interesting team to watch. They really get after you defensively, but sometimes I still don't really like the bigs, but they're winning.
Yeah.
So can't argue with it.
I do like the fact that we are going back to the day of like dominant big men, even though they're not dominant right now. I think it was going to always be tough to be dominant against a Jokic-led team anyway, because you have to do so much on the defensive side of the ball to like really do too much on the offensive side. But it is cool that we're kind of like having flashbacks to like the late 90s, early 2000s, where having a dominant big man duo is actually like a good thing as opposed to like a bad thing. But Anthony Edwards, my God, what a guy. Like to have on your team, just the ultimate personality. Like you'll see some tweets during Twitter fingers that we'll go over, but like that guy has probably the best edge, like in a NBA superstar since Kobe. Like I know we always like to relate guys to Kobe. We've tried doing it with Booker. We tried doing it with like, I think even, Jason Tatum tried doing it with Jason Tatum, putting out that weirdo tweet. But like, I think this is the guy that probably is the closest we've gotten to having that competitive edge that Kobe had. What do you think?
I think he's competitive as hell. I know that. What it'll ultimately amount to, what it means in terms of like who he can ultimately be compared to. Like, but I think if you're just talking about from his competitive stance, his competitive drive, it's hard. I'm hard pressed to disagree with you.
He hates
there's probably like other guys we're missing, but I love him pointing at those fans in Game 7, right? And and making big plays. I mean, because the thing he really didn't have a great Game 7, right? But you still felt his presence. Like he still sort of had his will and his desire and like fingerprints all over the game. So he was incredible throughout the series. Even if his Game 7 really, if it flips the other way, we're talking about it like, hey, this guy went, and I don't remember the number, 6 for 24, I want to say,
it was bad.
right? So so it wasn't like he was just shooting lights out, absolutely, right? But that doesn't really matter when you win. To the victors go the spoils, and so he's getting all the spoils right now.
Yeah, Talby again said, what's the actual conversation about MJ being Ant's dad? Is it over or under 50-50? He's 90s B-ball reborn. And then he said, we never thought Kobe or LeBron was MJ's kid. Though we did think Jimmy Butler was MJ's kid. And I think there's a good argument to be had on that one if you do a side-by-side. Apparently this Anthony Edwards thing is really taken off. Though I think Anthony Edwards is like 22, maybe?
Yeah,
like,
he's very young still.
Yeah, that was like Wizards MJ years. I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't think he's actually MJ's kid, but
yeah, I don't really buy into any of those ever, but I mean, they're interesting. It's fun to say.
Though I did mention already that MJ was a terrible father, and if he fathered children that are now in the NBA, it wouldn't shock me whatsoever. I'll let you do
you're a father. I'll let you do all the father judging around here.
Yeah. No,
you're the preeminent expert on fathers in this house.
Yeah, no, I've got 2 children of my own for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
2-0 on this podcast. So no, but I think Ant is dope because he has like the confidence of a Pat Bev, but significantly better. You know what I mean?
It's a touch better.
Yeah. Hates everybody, like everybody in the arena, people he's playing against, he hates everybody. And he's said that, which I think is dope. Has a lot of Jimmy Butler energy. I don't know. That was a fun series though. Honestly, like that's probably been my favorite series out of all of them so far. It's just so back and forth. I do love the comments after Game 7, talking about being up 20 and who's the coach of the Nuggets? Help me out real quick. I'm forgetting.
Michael Malone.
Yeah, Malone talking about who gives a shit if we were up 20. We lost Game 7. Like I loved that. But dude, like I think we were on the right track last week because you were talking about the Nuggets like being the preemptive team to beat. And I think we were kind of going on the track of like whoever comes out of that series is probably going to be like the number one going forward. I don't see a team that can really beat the T-Wolves because I don't think, again, whatever we say, especially on the NBA, always goes the opposite way.
I'd probably pick the Mavs to protect us.
Yeah, I would. I would put that, money line out there for sure if I was John Henningsen. But I simply don't see a way that the Mavs can beat this Timberwolves team because the Mavs don't have a lot of size. I think the Wolves match up really well against the Mavs because we just mentioned Anthony Edwards being really good defensively. There's your guy that goes and bothers Luka for a billion years. Though if Ant gets in foul trouble because of that, then we kind of already solved that issue. But, you go throw Mike Conley's decrepit ass on Kyrie, hope for the best, and then just the bigs clogging up the paint. I think it's going to be really, really tough for the Mavs.
Yeah, they have other wing defenders too. So I mean, I think defensively, I mean that's what they've been doing, right? They've been putting their stamp on games that way. So if they continue to get after it in that way, I mean, Jokic down the stretch of that game was having a real hard time too. Right? I haven't seen a lot of games where they put pressure on him. He was turning that thing over a little bit even and just bothered, you could tell. So they can put a lot of pressure on you. They can certainly put pressure on the rim. They did a great job with I would say probably like more of a similar look than what the Suns are going to give you, right? Like to some degree. I mean, it's not apples to apples by any means, but they've shown that they can handle perimeter guys. I'll just say that they did a pretty damn good job dealing with KD, Book, and Bradley Beal. So Wolves look good.
Yeah, they got McDaniels out there. They got Shai's brother. What's his name? Nikhil Alexander, really good, perimeter guys. So it'll be interesting. And then, I don't want to like not talk about the Mavericks Thunder series because that was honestly also very, very good. Thunder are going to be a problem, bro. They are going to be very, very, very good going forward. For them to go like, basically kind of like, I don't want to say laughing joke of the NBA where they're just collecting picks from everybody in the NBA to now they have a solid as shit team and like also still have all those picks. Like, I think what Chet said, right? Like, I don't think anybody's ever won 12 in a row. They might come close if they can fulfill their potential. Like, they could honestly be like a low-key dynasty because Shai is incredible. Chet's super good. And then the rest of that team is just rock solid. So they'll be interesting to see going forward. I think the Mavs just had more experience, especially with Kyrie, especially with Luka. That was really just the main difference, Thunder being a little bit too green.
Yeah. Thunder, super bright future, took a huge step this year, obviously a 1 seed. They were competitive in this series. This was like a very good back and forth series. Thunder had a lot of leads even in that game 6. Like they sort of had it under control for a while, or at least it seemingly felt that way.
Yeah.
Where they would take a nice little lead and then, Dallas would make a run again. But I think to your point, I think ultimately the experience won out. I wouldn't, I just co-sign really everything that you said. I think that's what we're living with. The 2 better players in the series, like ultimately won out, the 2 better players with / experience, if you will.
Yeah, that last game, that's really where you saw it, because like Thunder were like what 15 at one point, and it just really came down to like the Mavericks knowing how to come back as opposed to Thunder knowing how to keep a lead. That's all that really was, in my opinion. Because talent-wise, I think the Thunder potentially are deeper. It's just star power. And I think that's what the Suns are trying to capture. Let's hope that they freaking figure it out with Coach Bud.
Well, the Thunder feel like they have culture, like, right? Like even just the way they were talking after the loss, right? You could just tell that they like actually like go hard for one another. You could sort of feel that. And that seemingly will pay dividends.
This is a good question. Who's better in the future, the Thunder or the Wolves? I think I lean towards the Thunder only because Gobert's older. Cat isn't the best perimeter defender. They do have Ant, which that's gonna be their corner piece forever. But then also like a lot of the T-Wolves like know-how is older, like Gobert, Conley. Those guys are all not going to be there much longer. Whereas the Thunder went super far with like no vets, right? I mean, the one vet they have was Gordon Hayward, who's bitching now that he didn't get enough playing time. So I don't know. I don't know what you think. I would go Thunder.
Well, Thunder have more assets, and they already have a really good team.
Yeah.
Right. And then, like as you mentioned, right, like they're not going to have to like solve for some other guys as they're aging. So it seems like there's more chips in the Thunder's hand. Yeah. However, there may be that that wild card in the scenario. That's Anthony Edwards, right, or the trump card, if you will, right? Like Anthony Edwards maybe just changes everything, but we'll see. But I would agree with you that even if they have some sort of like run ahead of them, even let's call it the next 2 to 3 years, at some point you think they're going to have to retool in the way that Oklahoma City may not have to, or like will have more ability or capacity to do so. Because remember they moved a lot for that Gobert deal too. It's not, they didn't give away nothing. So there are going to be some gaps in their like draft picks and so on forth. I don't know it the way I know the Suns pick, so don't question me on the T-Wolves, but I know they gave up some assets, so they should have some limitations moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you. I think it really just comes down to the draft picks. And then also we have to think, right, they're not going to keep all those draft picks. If they want to go out and get a KD this summer, I'm sure the Suns would love to, I mean, not love, but like they would be open to the idea of getting a bunch of first-round picks for KD, right? So that could happen. I mean, they could make one big move to just try to solidify their core and like be great for years on end. So we'll see what happens. Let's move over to the East. The Celtics have been done for a while. We've said it on this show. If the Celtics don't move on to the next round, something terrible happened. But I think we also said that before the Pacers apparently went freaking nuclear. Granted, we also did call the fact that a Tom Thibodeau coach team is only good for so long, and that proved very, very true. That team just fell apart.
We know things, just not all things, Dugan. We
not enough to be right.
Yeah, that. I wouldn't say like I'm not shocked by that series though. it seemed like the Knicks had control of it, but we did talk about how the wheels are falling off from like an injury standpoint.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider that a stunning result, but it is certainly a heartbreaking and or funny result for the Knicks, depending on where you sit.
Funny.
I don't really even have any ill will for. They've been so bad for so long in my life now
Yeah.
that I don't even actively root against the Knicks as a big market. I don't even really care. It is a little funny to me coming from the 90s and some of that basketball that the Pacers still are the thorn in the side. And it's Knicks fans just hate the Pacers. They have to hate the Pacers so much.
Who was it on the Pacers walked in with the Reggie Miller on his shirt?
Yeah. Halliburton ended up wearing it in the press conference post game.
God, way to know your audience, bro. What a thing to do, But ultimately, the Brunson injury was kind of freakish, but the rest of it, dude, OG trying to play that last game, he was a broken man.
Yeah,
that was a bad situation. And then obviously Robinson being hurt, not good. And those are all injuries that definitely come from just overplaying, playing 40 minutes a game. So we kind of called it. We should have probably placed a bet on it, but we didn't. Well, I don't know if you did. I didn't.
No, I certainly didn't either.
Yeah. But, Talby's over here saying the Pacers are going to get swept. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to win the series because, again, if the Celtics don't move on, something terrible happen. But they're going to make it an interesting series, more interesting than people think they are, simply because the Pacers play hard-nosed defense. That's their whole identity. And Miles Turner has been a revelation this year. He's been so good. If Halliburton can just continually get healthier, not completely healthy, but healthier, that's a huge boon. If TJ McConnell can continue to be just Matthew Dellavedova 2.0, that's going to be huge for them. They're a good team. Siakam's been phenomenal for them.
Yeah, Siakam's been really nice. I think they're just going to be competitive, and the Celtics don't sweep anybody. They just don't.
Never.
They didn't sweep in those first two rounds.
No,
they can't sweep anybody. They try, they just can't. There's just something in there. They have a defect. So, I don't think it's really going to be. I don't know how competitive. I wouldn't be surprised if the Pacers if the Pacers push at 6, I would consider that competitive, and I think that's probably their best opportunity. If they can get it to 6, I'd be really impressed. Actually,
they've gotten a lot farther than I thought they would, but by this point, recency bias is going to dominate my brain, and I agree with you. 6 would be awesome for them, but I could also just see it happening. I'm not a huge Jason Tatum believer. I think he kind of folds every playoffs.
Yeah, I am with you there, actually.
Jaylen Brown, same thing. I think the main difference for them is having a good point guard with Drew Holiday. If Porzingis can come back, Tabby's over here saying keep him until you have to play him. I think you have to play him. You know what I mean? Miles Turner's been that good, honestly. So I would not be surprised to see the Pacers pull 2 out of this. I mean, if it goes 7, that'd be even cooler. But
I think the Pacers got him in the in-season tournament.
Did they?
I think so. I think that's one of the teams they beat, but I could be wrong. And I'm the first person that's brought up the in-season tournament since they raised the banner in LA.
I forgot that was a thing, to be honest.
Yeah,
with you.
But I was thinking about it, and I was I just remember them playing with a lot of pace, and I could see them playing with a lot of pace, the Celtics falling in love with threes or a couple nights, and and then losing a couple games in a 3-point shootout, just playing the numbers on both sides, and they shoot worse.
I can't wait to watch the Peyton Pritchard, TJ McConnell matchups. That's what I'm here for.
Ooh, yeah. You're right. There's something there for sure.
Yeah, that's worth watching right there. Those minutes are gonna just hit 80s style crack, dude.
Yeah, there's some actually. I mentioned that there's a lot of really good ball stopping perimeter. When you have Drew Holiday, Pritchard, and TJ McConnell in that series.
Yeah, I hope Halliburton's freaking healthy, dude. I still am so mad that we drafted Jalen Smith over.
Yeah, there's our obligatory comment. You cannot talk about Halliburton as a Suns fan and not ultimately end up going, hey, dude, you remember what happened?
Yeah, remember James Jones doesn't know how to draft at all? That was the easiest draft pick in the world, too. You and I were I think we called each
Everybody was the whole world knew that we should draft Halliburton.
You have an aging Chris Paul, and you go, you know what really sounds good? Jalen Smith. And then you know what? Let's not play him at center. Let's play him at the 4. Is he on the Pacers still?
Stretch 4. I feel like he went somewhere else, but I could be wrong.
I'm going to look that up really quick. You want to talk about
I need to know.
Yeah, you want to talk about no, we already talked about it. Never mind. There's not much to talk about in the East, dude, because it should just be the Celtics. Like that's really
I know it should just be the Celtics. They should be healthy. Do you think they'll be favored against either team coming out of the West?
He's on the Pacers, bro. He played 3 minutes last game.
Dude, that's an impact play. The good draft pick, James Jones. 3 playoff minutes. That's your guy, dude.
God damn it, dude. Oh, there's so many reasons the Suns haven't freaking won a championship.
It's a playoff rotation player. 3 minutes a game you can get out of that guy. What a pick. And you traded him.
Can you imagine?
Well, you actually let him walk.
If we would have had him in 2021, there's no way we lose to the Bucks if we have Halliburton. I
agree, and I don't want to talk about it.
No, we wouldn't have gotten those sick campaign minutes. So
I'm having a good time. We're having fun.
Calvin wants me to ask you this: Shaq versus Jokic all time.
Yeah, people. So this happened. This was like a conversation that got started with
because of Shaq.
Talbot here, I know. So it got started with I guess it's because Shaq he has his tension there, and then there's it just comes up. So Jokic versus Shaq, and there was there's some people that felt that Jokic has already surpassed Shaq or is already like a top 5 guy. And to me, that is just absolute. And I see you shaking your head like a freaking dolphin. No, I love it because I couldn't agree more. Like, not yet, dude. Just not yet. Like, no. Can he? Could he? Like, those are different conversations. Sure, he could pass Shaq. He has a possibility to pass Shaq, but hell no. Is he better than Shaq as it stands today?
I'm going to sound like not a boomer, but just like old. Different eras, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if Jokic could play in Dad's NBA. Shaq dominated people. He dominated Hakeem Olajuwon, bro. Like, one of the greatest centers to ever do it. And he, made it tough on Hakeem. You know what I mean? Like, Shaq was a different beast. I will say this, though. Like, the whole, Shaq's getting corny. Am I wrong in saying that? Like, he's getting
he can be, dude. He can get all these guys, man. Like, all of them go through a stage of big time insecurity, and Shaq just hasn't had to deal with it because there hasn't been a big man in the game. So it's finally around him, and he's having to answer questions and talk about someone who actually competes with, which should tell you something about Jokic, that he's actually at least good enough to draw his ire, if you will. Yeah.
But it is annoying that every time we have a good big man, Shaq has to go on national TV and talk shit. Like, he did it with Dwight Howard. I'm pretty sure he did it with AD at one point, especially when AD moved to the Lakers. He's done it with Jokic. And the thing that was really just kind of grimy was that he did it. He was talking to Jokic, wasn't he? About getting his 3rd MVP. And that's when he mentioned it, about not being as good as him or whatever. That's where this all started.
I don't even know. Maybe I missed that clip. I don't know, for sure. But that feels right.
It is. Sure. It's just Shaq embodies just all the old men. If you we've done this before in the show. If you ask our parents who the greatest golfer is, they're gonna say Jack, whereas you and I say Tiger. That's just what it is. And Shaq's embodying that on a national platform with himself. You know what I mean?
You're right. Yeah.
And it's annoying. Talby, you're right. MJ said the same thing, especially with the old LeBron thing. These old guys just cannot recognize greatness. There's a few of them out there that will give these guys their shine, but Shaq just is a serial hater. I love Shaq. I have a Shaq jersey. Shaq's great, but dude, he continually just shits on every NBA big man ever.
It's as tale as old as time. You see it even actually. It just reminds me that this is exactly what's going on with Caitlin Clark too, right? You saw a lot of it even you saw this from even the WNBA players.
Oh, dude!
Some of the old vets, or it's some of the players that have already come and gone. Hey man, it's a rough league. Hey, you're going to be playing professionals now. I don't know if everything she does in college is going to translate to the WNBA. So hey, this happens across the board. This happens. This is This isn't just a problem for men. This is a universal issue.
Should we do it? Should we talk about the WNBA really quick?
I don't know. If you want to talk about the WNBA, we can.
Because today's WNBA is not your father's WNBA, as you quickly pointed out to me through text this week.
I don't know. Those messages are encrypted. You don't have to share them.
There's a revolution going on in today's day and age with the WNBA where it's starting to catch my attention. That's all I'm going to say. I'll put it this way. it's not the skill level getting better, bud, because I'll tell you this much, Lisa Leslie's probably better than some of the girls in the league today. But there's something catching my attention about today's WNBA, and I'm not mad at it.
Something has you on the brink, would you say?
Dude, something's got me hard pressed. I'll put it that way.
I really don't know. So, all right, let's just talk about it. Yeah, as basically I was talking to you about was that, hey, WNBA as a kid, and like maybe this is just me missing it, right? Maybe I just missed it. But I kind of remember it as, just some pretty like adult looking ladies having fun playing ball. But with the age of social media, the internet, whatever's happened, whatever they're putting in the water, and this is where and my question was simply like, and this is kind of where my curiosity started. Certainly like some bonkable offenses, sure. Like we look at this pretty lady, but what I'm like trying to figure out is like, are we really getting like and I think we are. So like a couple things can be true here, but are we really like more interested in the WNBA now? Or are they just finally marketing it just in a different way? And now men seem to be gravitating to it for a certain subject matter. And I'm not really sure it's all about the game, Dugan, would be my concern if I'm the WNBA. I'm not saying that they should be concerned about that. They're probably excited about clicks, views, eyes, whatever. But it's interesting.
I'll tell you this much. Talby's over here in the comments just going off about the ball should all be the same size league to league. So we're not going to worry about him right now. He's concerned about the wrong thing.
Yeah, we don't take the bait.
Yeah, no. But I think this is probably the best thing that ever happened in WNBA. I have seen more WNBA content. I'll give it to Caitlin Clark, though. She has kind of started a revolution.
No, she has. I watch, look, I see a Caitlin Clark clip every single day of my life, and I watch them.
Yeah, same. She's great. But then I also, go down the timeline and within 20 seconds see a Kelsey Plum highlight. And let me tell you, I'll tell you which one I would rather watch, and it's the Kelsey Plum one. So you have my attention, WNBA. That's all I'm saying. You have my attention. And that big old tall girl in LA that came from Stanford, you also have my attention.
Yeah, that's Cameron Brink. That's why I was trying to get you on the Brink comment. Yeah, I was trying to sneak that in there.
See, I didn't even know her name. It
don't matter, though. See, telling on yourself, bud. You're telling on yourself. Learn their names. Be respectful.
Pick her out of a lineup, though. Let me tell you.
No one said you can't call a woman beautiful, but you should probably know her name, Jonathan.
All right. Well, in that spirit, I think we've bonked enough, and we're gonna get ready to bonk some more because it's time for Twitter fingers. Let me tell you.
Classic pause guy Dugan goes, now we're gonna bonk some more.
Yeah, I'm not gonna wait for you to have a comment for that one.
Twitter fingers.
There's gonna be some WNBA content. I'm pretty sure. Maybe
I don't know what's all in there. We'll see what we get.
Yeah, hopefully I didn't just send it to you. That is probably something I would do. All right, let's get to it. First and foremost, I just sent you this one because I thought it was hilarious. But apparently Dan Mullen puts out a video of him in, I assume this is Vegas, but from a pool party. And somebody puts that classic meme of the white guy, the trashy white guy in the pool with the black woman. Yep, I shit you not, D1 head coach, University of Florida. It's pretty good too. Recruiting sucked, but that's why they paid me the big bucks, I could totally see Dan Mullen actually word for word saying that. I don't know about you.
It honestly looks like Dan Mullen. So I'm not even sure that this isn't real.
Yeah, but my God, what a great tweet. All right, and then then I sent you this one. This one was actually pretty funny. Somebody on Let's Talk Knicks put, "Do not let a man who donates an entire room in his house with Legos beat us today." And as a Chiefs fan, I would love for some of their players to develop some off-season hobbies like this. Dude, nobody's had a rougher offseason than the Chiefs, bro. It's getting real in Kansas City.
It is, and I honestly love this content. It's true. I mean, I can't. I mean, I still can't believe we basically ran Aiden out of town over video games at some point. I mean, we ran him out of town for a lot of other reasons, but the amount of conversation around video games being a problem when clearly there's worse issues and much bigger distractions going on. Legos, my man, get it. That's great. Big Lego guy.
To be fair, that's a sick.
You like Legos?
I haven't played with Legos in years, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you weren't playing with Legos, but I mean, you liked them as a kid.
Yeah, for sure. That and Lincoln Logs. Were you not of the kind?
No, totally loved them. Actually, no, I just randomly someone said Lincoln Logs and was like, I referenced Lincoln Logs as a joke, about I just came out of my mouth, and the other person's immediate response was like, "Dude, I love Lincoln Logs," and I was just like, "Yeah, dude, I also Lincoln Logs are great." Yeah, so Lincoln Logs and Legos. I mean, those are forever toys.
Yeah, and that honestly is a pretty sick piece. I assume that's the Titanic. It's not just some random cruise ship, but good for Miles Turner. I agree with the commenter though that if the Chiefs instead focused on building Lego sets instead of beating up photographers, it'd be a much better offseason for them. This one, call me Scottie Scheffler the way I'm assaulting these pigs. This is just
couple of pork missiles coming at you, just in case you're wondering out there on the audio.
This is just one of many part of the Twitter Fingers universe you'll see of Scottie Scheffler content, but this one was great. So let's see. You sent this one.
They're all great.
I talked about this with James today. What a situation.
Get that ball back. Man for the people.
Good guy Bryson, dude. And also the right in the middle of it.
Great. Yeah. Great turnaround from Bryson from a PR standpoint over the last couple of months. Really the last year, probably, ever since he started doing YouTube and getting into that stuff, he seemed to find a little bit of a niche there. And I mean, just for those that aren't understanding what the audio they're hearing, Bryson flips a ball to a kid as he's walking through the tournament. Mind you, he's in the heat and the throes of trying to win a major and playing very well, by the way. Yeah, and throws a ball to a kid. Someone else snags it, tries to sort of run off. He immediately yells at the guy, tries to stop the situation, rectifies it, make sure the ball goes to the kid. Total winner move.
Dude, you have to be a giant piece of shit to steal any kind of sports memorabilia or whatever, this kind of situation from a kid. Just weirdo behavior. This guy probably puts ketchup on his hot dog, just not a cool guy at all.
And just so you know, the kind of guys we're dealing with. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I jumped the gun there.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Snagged a foul ball to U of A baseball game. Had it no less than 5 seconds. We had it in a kid's hand. That's all you're there for, guys. We talked about it a week ago. Don't take your gloves to the games. These got them with my hands here. When I was able to get my mitts on one, gave it to a kid.
Yeah, and you're right, dude. Bryson, really big turnaround. You mentioned his YouTube page. I just recently started watching it. It's actually pretty damn good. He has the whole thing where he asks Siri what club he should use and plays well. It's actually kind of cool. Towie says, is that a Bryson plant? I don't think so. I think this was a real life situation.
All right. Yeah, I think he's mostly real.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. You mentioned talking about Wildcat baseball. Let's see. Here we go.
The throw to Blake. The Cats win it. The Cats win it. Arizona wins the final Pac-12 championship.
Before I go any further, U of A baseball is the sickest uniforms in college baseball, in my opinion.
Unquestioned.
Like those things right there are nasty. I need to go pick me up one.
We have 7 uniforms that are better than most teams' uniforms. I mean, and I'm not even kidding. We're loaded with talent from a baseball uniform standpoint.
Yeah, like every year they put out bangers, but also, how sick is it that U of A has just won like so much in the final year of the Pac-12? Like Pac-12 was our conference. I don't care what anybody says. Arizona owned the Pac-12 from a baseball standpoint, basketball standpoint. Look at football. This year we win the Alamo Bowl. Like, dude, this was our year.
It's a real joy to sit in that stadium, see those 4 national championships, on the board, watch this team play. And then, as you mentioned, they win a Pac-12 championship on top of the basketball winning and on top of a really banner year from football. Tennis won a Pac-12 tournament. There's all kinds of great things going on in Arizona sports right now. Like, who's got it better than us? Nobody. But it's just been banger after banger from the athletic department at Arizona. It's not just uniforms, folks. They're winning.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's also hilarious that U of A wins the series. The game before we lost 20 to
we got
3.
slaughtered in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Brought it to the last day. All they had to do was win one. So they made it as dramatic as humanly possible and then walked off the Beavers, who are a hell of a squad. It's not surprising that, an absolute fight. And now they have a really good shot at hosting a regional.
Dude, man, if they host a regional, we should try to go to one of the games because that'll be so much fun, dude.
Yeah, great time. Support your Batcats.
Yeah, I think softball even did pretty well this year too, didn't they?
Yeah, they got through the regional over the weekend in Arkansas, so they'll be moving on to the Super.
Aren't we blessed to just go to such an athletic school, bro? I swear, we picked right, All right. This unfortunately implies the existence of terminally sick children in the EA Sports universe. The greatest tradition in college football will make an appearance in EA Sports College Football 25. The wave has been added to NCAA 25. It wouldn't be a jump shots from the goal line episode if Henny did not shit on the whole state of Iowa.
I mean, again, Iowa's just ruining things that people like.
Dude, you know what? This weekend, I had to explain to my wife the Ed O'Bannon case. This is the kind of conversations that we have in the Dugan household because I told her, hey, NCAA 25 just went on, pre-sale or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and snag it. And I told her why I wanted it so bad. I was just like, hey, look, this is like the first time it's been around in 10 years. And she asked why. And I said, because the NCAA got sued and EA Sports got sued.
Why?
This guy named Ed O'Bannon. And she, went into a whole diatribe about it. But yeah, I'm getting NCAA 25 anyway. So can't wait to go take Morehead State and just beat the piss out of Iowa while they do the wave. That'll be great. Let's see. All right. Bad Boy Scottie on the first tee, reminding everyone where he's been. Oh,
that's right. Scottie with the backwards hat. You bad boy.
You better watch out. Oh, that reminds me of like Prison Mike from The Office.
Yeah, a lot of Prison Mike content out there. Yeah, that one, that one's subtle. That's just a good one. A little flip of the hat reminding everyone just how naughty Scottie's been.
Oh man. Attaboy, Scottie. I sent you this today. I thought this was incredible. His head went 360, right? Like for sure.
I mean, it's absolutely what it looks like.
Let's watch that back really quick. Did you hear his neck? It popped. I didn't know that necks could do that.
Again, for those just listening, it's just that slap fighting thing. And if you haven't watched these videos, you probably don't need to introduce this to your algorithm, but they're also kind of awesome.
Dude, they're so sick. Doesn't Dana White run this too?
Yeah, like that's why I don't even really want to support this. Yeah. But it is like, but I mean, objectively, when you're passing by, you're like, do you want to watch someone get slapped in the face? You're like, yeah, probably.
All right, one more time.
all for your amusement.
Oh god, dude!
This one like legitimately does look like his head spins 360 though.
It's a cartoon, right? Like that's cartoon stuff.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if this is edited or not, but yeah, it looks insane.
The clip has been digitally altered. It's right there in the reader's comment.
There we go. Yeah, there's the thanks community notes. Yeah. Thank you.
Damn. All right, whatever.
We've been had.
That has been, let me tell you, that's been added since I last sent it to you because that was not there before.
Yeah, you can get, I mean, hey, the internet's tricky.
Here we go. A more exclusive club than Augusta National. We mentioned this before, man. You're either a bad dad or you've been arrested in order to achieve greatness in most sports. So there's our boy John Daly.
Daly, Tiger, Scotty. And then there's one of Shooter McGavin out there too. If you catch the other one, that's floating around as well. I like that Shooter McGavin. In fact, the actor who played Shooter McGavin gets lumped in with great golfers, just like intuitively, like no questions asked. He's one of an all-time greats.
Do we want to mention it? Hey, that actually got greenlit. Netflix is going to make a Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah, curious to see how it goes for sure.
Well, if Adam Sandler has anything to do with it, it's going to be absolutely shit. But because he does not make too many good movies anymore.
Yeah, it's tough. That's why I'm a little nervous about it. But
let's hope. I think golf could do us a solid. Some of these guys with personality, like Scotty, if he tries to be in Happy Gilmore, that would be pretty cool. All right, let's see. Yeah, this is the one I sent earlier. He was arrested, released, and will make his tee time. Is about the widest thing I've ever heard. I agree. That's great. Me and the bros when the Chicago Sky fly us out for a week in a fun.
Just FYI, I could be used for snoo.
Silence! You want died like last men visit Amazonia?
What'd they die of?
Crushed pelvises.
Yes!
Oh, thank you, Lord in heaven.
Futurama always hits, bro.
I love Futurama.
Futurama's probably better than The Simpsons. I know it's like a hot take, but like their clips are awesome.
Futurama's great, man. It's got nice. It is really good. I don't know. Futurama sometimes does make me laugh really, really hard. Like that's a hilarious bit right there. Yeah. Like that's really funny. Whether you want to tie it to the WNBA or not, like that's objectively just funny on its own. So great share, and I'm glad you can send me Futurama stuff anytime you want. But
let's talk about these. Just
what are these?
The New York Giants new uniforms that will be worn 2 times. We have to see these stupid things twice this year. Those are bad in terms of throwbacks.
First glance in a while, looks like a pretty cool looking golf tee.
Yeah, this looks like something you would find in the bargain bin at Ross, but it would be like U.S. Polo Association, and it would be on a polo.
Yeah, if you told me, I can't get past this being anything but like a bad pair of socks or a golf tee. I can't like when would you combine these colors and these stripes for what else?
Never. All right, here we go.
They have taken this franchise.
I know they've murdered everything they've done. This is one you sent, Ying Yang Twins. Let me tell you, as somebody that has been to a Ying Yang Twins concert,
only reason I sent it, dude. Only reason I said it, I was like, just talk about the Ying Yang Twins, dude. I'm just teeing you up.
Let me tell you,
uniform.
I've seen them within the last 5 years. I've seen them twice, actually. That's how much of a fiend I am. The first time I saw them, they were great. Tons of energy. The bigger brother, like the taller one, was like all over the place.
I think that's
last time I saw them. Yeah, sure. The last time I saw them was at the Pima County Fair, because where else would they be except at a WNBA halftime show? That's exactly what they look like. They ain't doing a whole lot on stage. They're just collecting a check. Very obviously not actually rapping, just lip syncing. How the greats have fallen, Henny. Like we're old now.
You have no idea how much joy it brings my heart to think you're going to see the Ying Yang Twins twice.
Dude,
Babe, the Twins are back.
You laugh. This is also the same guy that has seen Paul Wall once and almost went this year. Bro, I am
What
who
did
I
that give
am,
me the
bro.
light? Does that give me the light? Is that Paul Wall? Or no,
Give me
Paul Wall.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my gosh. I'm
Are
like,
you-
dude,
are you
I
thinking
got
about
excited. I was
Sean
thinking,
Paul?
yeah, that's immediately like what I went to. And then I
Oh,
realized what I had done.
I would for sure go see Sean Paul as well. I know that you and Jess make fun of me all the time about that, but Sean Paul, give me the line and start the show.
Yeah, I think that's why I immediately, I was like, I just know, and like this is a good thing about you, right? But like you are not afraid to just embrace like what you like, even if it is potentially at your own risk.
You know who's going to be in Tucson?
Probably someone sick.
Sick for you, not for me, bud.
I'll just throw it at me.
T.I.
Oh, you're back on this. All right, like T.I. was like a good pop rapper.
Yeah, dude. I had people at work asking me, "What do we have to do to get you to go to that concert?" And I told them I would rather bathe in my own puke than go watch T.I. in Tucson. Because number one, it's T.I.
You're like, when the
and
Ying
number
Twins
two,
are opening. You're like, what? Yeah, then you're.
You're not wrong though. That would be my general reaction.
You're like immediately hands on knees, bows on thighs. Yeah.
First of all, right, dude, like when Bojangles hits every time, bro. Like
Yeah.
Oh, dude. God damn it. Says Ying Twins for sure have white pubes. They probably do, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like again, probably be some reader commentary on that, but
yeah, leave your comments.
Can't prove
whatever.
it's not true.
I love this one. Chet dresses exactly like a dude named Chet. Like, tell me he does not look like the dude straight out of the Goofy movie, dude. That is
that's actually a pretty good call.
He does, right?
Is that the guy that's voiced by Pauly Shore?
One of the Cheese Whiz?
Yeah, like the Leaning Tower of Cheese. Yeah, like that guy.
That's Chet Holmgren, bro.
All right, man. Yeah. All right. I have a tentative grasp of the Goofy movie. It's been a minute.
Let's see. I think you sent this one. List of players I would take over Tatum. This is great for our.
Oh, and I sent this because as we almost like immediately agreed on earlier, like, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure.
This list is so asinine.
The guy that someone did this, though, I just love. Yeah. Someone hit him with name more players you take over Tatum. I'll wait. And guy literally went alphabetically through the NBA.
Yeah. I love Twitter. All right. Now I'm going to let you go off on. Did we go over this last week?
No, we did this last week. We can't be You're So back with the killer whales again. Although maybe that's why you're back, is because you were here for more killer whale talk, in which case the summer is here. The whales are attacking again.
Yeah. All right. That's enough for this wild ass show. Go listen to some Ying Twins, or if you don't, I wouldn't blame you. But don't forget, all right? Do not forget, click that subscribe button, click that bell, get notified when we go live. We love having the communication on here. Can't just be Talby all the time, right? Because he's just going to take over the show one day, which I'm here for. But we need more voices for sure. But also don't forget to click that subscribe button on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, whatever, right? But make sure you're following along. Make sure you're following us on social media. We're on Twitter/X, which, by the way, did you see today? He put out a poll. Do you still call it Twitter or do you call it X? We all call it Twitter.
Really? Yeah,
Elon.
dude, it's Twitter, Elon.
We all call it Twitter.
Bring back the bird.
Yeah, dude, we need that tweet, baby. Anyway, follow us there. Follow us Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're on all of it. But most importantly, go buy some Tasties. Hit the links this weekend and let them know. All right. Go to their Instagram page. Be like, we demand a tahini margarita flavored Tasty. And it has to say jump shots on the goal line from it. That's what the people want. We're just letting you guys know. R&D tax credits are out there. You can, make your money back on it. So I definitely don't sell payroll for a living.
Yeah, please do not take any tax advice from this podcast ever.
Yeah, but what you can do is make those sweet tasties that are flavored like tahini flavored margaritas. So, but do yourself a favor, go to tasty.com and go purchase some incredible things for the course. You'll thank us later. So with that, I don't have any other closing thoughts. Henny, you want to hit them with anything?
I got nothing. This is fun though.
So glad. All right. Don't be like Scotty. Stay out of jail. We'll talk to you later. Bye.